Shedeur Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes, 4-2, 2-1 Big 12, will travel to Tucson in Week 8 to face the Arizona Wildcats, 3-3, 1-2 Big 12, in what will be their third straight Big 12 matchup, and their fourth since returning to the conference. Colorado is coming off their second loss of the season last week in a tough battle against number 18 Kansas State, where the Buffaloes fell by just 3 points. Even in defeat, Sanders impressed, throwing for over 300 yards for the fourth time this season, with 3 touchdowns and 1 interception. Sanders, who often draws criticism due to his famous father, head coach, and NFL Hall of Famer Deion Sanders, has nonetheless proven his worth as one of the best quarterbacks in Colorado football history. His on-field performances have been pivotal in guiding the Buffaloes to their current 4-2 record. As Colorado looks to bounce back and stay in contention for the Big 12, they'll need another standout performance from their star quarterback. Now, let's dive into some bold predictions for Shedeur Sanders as he and the Buffaloes face Arizona in Week 8. Shedeur Sanders completes at least 75% of his passes against Arizona. Through the Buffaloes' first 6 games, Shedeur Sanders has solidified himself as one of the most accurate passers in college football. In each of those games, Sanders has maintained a completion percentage above 60%, with his lowest coming in the loss to Nebraska, 60.5%. Last week against Kansas State, he was particularly sharp, completing 34 of 40 passes for an 85% completion rate. That marked the second consecutive game where his completion percentage exceeded 80%. Sanders now ranks 6th in the nation in completion percentage, sitting at an impressive 72.6%. However, Sanders will face a challenge on Saturday against an Arizona Wildcats defense that ranks 18th in the country in opposing completion percentage, allowing just 56.2%. Despite this, Sanders' ability to find and connect with his receivers could make it difficult for Arizona to disrupt his rhythm. Shedeur Sanders reconnects with Travis Hunter and Jimmy Horn Jr. Many wondered how Shedeur Sanders would fare without his star receiver Travis Hunter, especially after Hunter exited last week's game against Kansas State just before halftime. To add to the adversity, Jimmy Horn Jr. also went down and did not return. Despite these setbacks, Sanders nearly led the Buffaloes to victory. Much to the relief of Colorado fans, both Hunter and Horn are expected to be back for the Week 8 matchup against Arizona. Travis should play for certain on Saturday. Jimmy as well, head coach Deion Sanders confirmed Tuesday, according to Buff Zone. Hunter and Horn are Sanders' top targets, with the numbers to back it up. Together, they've combined for 75 receptions, 934 yards, and 7 touchdowns this season, though Horn has just 1 touchdown so far. With both receivers back on the field, Sanders will look to exploit Arizona's pass defense. Expect both Hunter and Horn to be major threats, with Sanders likely connecting with each of them for at least 1 touchdown. Shedeur Sanders throws for at least 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Only once this season has Sanders failed to hit the double-digit touchdown mark, which occurred in the Buffaloes' loss to Nebraska. In his last 2 games, Sanders has thrown at least 3 touchdowns and came just shy of the 300-yard mark in the game against UCF, with 290 yards. Despite Colorado's running game showing signs of improvement recently, this is still a pass-heavy offense, with Sanders the centerpiece. Given his consistency, expect him to put up another impressive performance against Arizona, throwing for at least 300 yards and 3 touchdowns. However, it should be noted that Arizona hasn't allowed a quarterback to pass for 300 yards all season.